Okay, guys, so watch this video for Monday, August 8th. You can see the SPY here. I hate to use the term broke out, but it did break above the last few weeks worth of trading, and we're up to new all-time highs again. That happened on Friday. So let's go into what I'm going to be watching on Monday. Remember, I'm a day trader, so I'm looking for stocks that might make me some money on Monday. None of these are meant to be held overnight. We're looking for intraday setups, and we're very adamant that those intraday setups meet the parameters that we teach in the chat room. All right, getting that out of the way. QVC, I like to have at least one stock that just kind of got really slapped because a lot of times they just sell off all day and then the next day you get a nice bounce. Again, if we get a proper setup tomorrow, we'll be looking for a bounce play in QVCA, TRIP. 2 days after gapping down, another day down, and you can see it's had some nice bounces below 60. So closed at 60.81. If we get down below 60, I'll be looking for an intraday reversal. So that's TRIP. CATB, this one's super thin, and I'd like to see, had a nice run from like over 2 days from 4 to 566, and then on much lower volume came in a bit on Friday. Generally, I'd want to see that come in another day, but I'm going to start watching it. It's a low flow stock. I'm going to start watching it for a potential move back higher as early as Monday. ADVM. And I got to pan and scoot in a little bit here. All right, so ADVM, kind of similar, had a nice move from 345 to 486. That's a really nice 2-day move. And again, it looks like it needs to come in another day, but much lower volume on that lower move and a lower float stock. So I'm already going to start watching that for a potential move up on Monday. KOOL is a strange looking, this is almost like a Picasso of a stock chart. It's just strange looking. But it's a low flow stock, really nice pop here, sold off, couple gaps that failed, and then it gaps way up to here, and then announced a secondary. Secondary wasn't that big, and now we're 2 days lower again. Had really nice support around $4. So plus you have the 20-day there. I'd like to see that come down around 4 on Monday. Maybe be looking for an intraday reversal there. LNTH. This is simply, it's certainly extended, right? Big move on Friday, but sometimes those get a follow-through move the very next day. I don't like buying anything far away from the moving averages, but it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. So with a proper setup, this might have a follow-through day on Monday. CHEK. This was on Gap Watch on Friday, and then it sold off. And generally, I just look away, don't even mess with them. But at the end of the day, this actually held up fairly well and came up close to where it opened. So this is a potential long, even though, again, pretty far away from the moving averages. I do like the recent volume and the strong close on Friday. So it's not my favorite by any stretch, but I'm going to have it on watch. AMS, really big volume for this stock on Friday. And real quick, I'm going to look up something here on it. Specialized Health Services. It's called American Shared Hospital Services. 3.3 million in the float. And that was on earnings, it looks like, on the 5th, on August 5th. So that one might have a follow-through day. Again, whoops, with that small float, it's interesting to me, all right? And closed pretty strong, right? SINO, I wanted to throw at least one of these. If you watched my video on Thursday night, you know I had the low float shippers on watch, and they went crazy on Friday. We had a great day in the chat room on Friday. And I just picked one. I picked SINO, and this is not an errant tick. It actually did get up to 3 before settling in around 2. But because these things are moving like that, even though it gave a lot of the gains back on an intraday basis, got to keep that one on a chart. All right, ADXS. I don't have a lot of luck with this kind of setup. You had a nice 2-day run, sellers came in, and then right back up to recent highs. You kind of got to like it long over this 1440 area, but at the same time, when you look at the daily, that is it's ahead of itself. So that one I'm on the fence about, but I'm going to keep it on a chart. It's been really strong. Wayne in the chat called that the other day at 12, and it went through 14 the same day on like 20 cents risk or something. It never stopped out. So it was pretty friendly to the chat room. HTBX continues to show strength. Got a couple trades in this on Friday. You had this nice pop here, and then another pop which took out these highs, kind of flagging and starting to head back up again. So over Friday's high, I'm going to put in my notes 135. That one might just make a move up to the 200-day, which 162. That would be a nice percentage gain. So let's keep our eyes on that. It's a handsome looking chart now. I like the volume, like the float, like the price, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. And then lastly, I've got CBMX, which again, a little bit of a Picasso of a chart, but you had the gap up, came back down into support, another gap up, came back down, but it found a little strength on Friday afternoon. It was 15-minute candle, so sold off at the open and ended up taking out its early highs on Friday and closing fairly strong. So if this can take out Friday's highs, which is 384, so I'm going to put 385 in my notes. Not a number I'll live and die by, but it's nice to know that's a potential catalyst that might move it back up through 4, and then over 410, this one could really take off. It's a low flow stock. So we're going to watch that one too. I'm going to leave the watch list at that. We will stock some gap plays in the pre-market and hopefully have a nice pre-market gap playlist to start the day off as well on Monday. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.